Deep in the frozen woods of Bavaria stood a lonely farmhouse called Hinterkaifeck. The snow muffled every sound, blanketing the world in an eerie quiet. But the silence, it hid something waiting to be found. Inside lived the Gruber family, Andreas and Chiselia, their widowed daughter Victoria, and her two young children. They were hard-working, quiet, and kept to themselves, an ordinary family. But for months, they had been haunted by strange things. Keys vanished, footsteps echoed from the empty attic, and an unfamiliar newspaper appeared out of nowhere. One cold morning, Andreas discovered something chilling. A set of footprints appeared in the fresh snow, leading from the dense forest straight to their front door. But strangely, there were no footprints leading back. Someone had come, but they hadn't left. At least, not the way they came in. That night, a gnawing unease pushed Andreas to search the entire house. He checked the barn, the shed, and every dark corner. Finally, he climbed the ladder to the attic, his lantern casting long, dancing shadows. He found nothing, but perhaps someone found him. The horror began in the barn. Lured out one by one under some unknown pretense, the family met their end, first Andreas, then his wife Chiselia, followed by Victoria, and finally little Chiselia. Each was struck down with a mattock, a farmer's own pickaxe, their lives extinguished in the cold, dusty hay. Inside the house, the youngest child, 2-year-old Joseph, slept peacefully in his cot, unaware of the nightmare unfolding just steps away. The killer, their grim work in the barn now finished, returned to the house. They did not spare him. Days passed. The chimney still smoked, a sign of life within. The livestock were fed and watered, but the mail piled up, and young Chiselia missed school. Worried neighbors finally decided to check on the family. What they discovered in the barn was a scene of unimaginable horror, a sight that would haunt them forever. The bodies of the family, covered loosely with hay. Here is where the story takes its most disturbing turn. The investigation revealed that the killer didn't just murder the Grubers and flee, they stayed. For several days after the slaughter, someone lived in that house. They ate the family's food, slept in their beds, and tended to the farm animals, all while the bodies of their victims lay just outside in the barn. The police were baffled. They interviewed over 100 suspects but could never pin the crime on anyone. The murder weapon, the mag, was eventually found hidden in the attic, the same attic where Andreas had heard footsteps weeks before. The case grew cold, buried under a mountain of questions and whispers. Who was this phantom guest? A vengeful neighbor? A hidden lover? A passing vagrant? No one ever knew. Eventually, the farm was torn down as if to erase the terrible memory from the landscape. But some stories refuse to die. Locals say that on quiet, snowy nights, you can still hear the echoes of what happened there. Footsteps in the attic, a door creaking open, the faint whisper of a voice carried on the wind. 6 souls, a century of silence, and a killer who simply walked in from the forest and vanished back into the shadows. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's darkest mysteries. If you find these untold stories as fascinating as we do, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next shadow.